Hi everybody, welcome back or welcome to Ali So Crafty. I am Ali and I run a handmade business where I make bags and organizers. And in this video, I am going to share with you the process of making a product that when I do vendor shows, and I haven't done that many, but last year I did, a few vendor shows, and I've had people ask me for this product about a couple of times. I mean, I would say out of 5 shows I did, in three different occasions, 3 different shows, people came asking for this. And what I'm talking about is glasses cases or sunglass cases. And this is the first one I made. Well, no, take it back. The second one I made. The first one I gave to my mom. It wasn't great, but it works. It works. She's using it. Okay, she loves it. But you have to kind of make things a little bit better. And as I tried that, I made the second one, and it's good, but it's not 100%. So I tweaked the pattern some more, and now I'm going to share with you how I made these. And as you can see, it's a very simple pouch. I added the swivel hook here. So this is like a little it's a little bit different swivel hook. It's kind of cute. So I added that. But here's the thing. It opens and closes using the flexi frames. And so, for example, it's very secure. Okay, so this is very secure, very easy to install. This is a very easy project. Okay, this is a beginner project. And as you can see here, it is. You can just press it, put your glasses in there, close it, and they will not come off, guys. Like this is there. Now you can also use it for pens, pencils, other things like that. Okay, come on. It won't come off. Okay. Pens, pencils, crochet hooks, hair accessories, whatever you think you can fit in a little case, you can fit in this. Now it's even, imagine that this is just a regular case, but instead of having the zipper, you have that flexi frame for the opening. So if you can make any pouch or anything like that with a zipper, then you can definitely make this. But if you're new at sewing and you're not sure you want to try zippers yet, but you still want to have a little pouch that you can open and close easily and secure, then this is the project for you. So we're going to make other ones, and I have a bunch of fabric that I'm going to be using for this. It doesn't take a lot of fabric. So I went through a lot of the fabrics that I already have and found pieces that are the right size for these. And so that's what we're going to be making. So let's go ahead and get started. I have this fabric, the blue vines, which is something that I have other products made out of. So I really wanted to make something with material that I already have something else, in case people like to mix and match, because people like to do that. So I have this one, and for all of them, I am adding a little bit of fleece, fusible fleece. Sorry. Yes, fusible fleece. Now, this fusible fleece is not as thick. This is like medium weight. I prefer the heavy weight, but I ran out of it, and I ordered some fleece interfacing, and it's not heavyweight. It's the medium weight, so I'm just gonna use it anyway. But that's what I have. So I have that, and so you have the body, okay, of the exterior case. For that one, I'm gonna use this as the lining. It's kind of like a grayish color. And then you need some tabs, some pieces of fabric for the tabs, for the top where you put the flexi frame, and the little tab on the side for the swivel hook. And actually, I have saved all of the swivel hook tabs here together so that way I don't lose them. The next one is also the orange blossom. I have other products made out of this one, so it will match with other things. Fusible fleece. And these are interfaced because I added interfacing a while back to the whole fabric, just the woven interfacing. And so I just, obviously, it was like that. I can't remove it, but I'm still gonna add the fusible fleece over it. And then the tabs are here. Now, for the tabs, I have the exterior tabs and I need lining tabs, which are, in this case, I'm going to use the lining of the water resistant material in white. So all the other ones are going to have the white lining. And the only one with a gray is going to be the blue one. And then the other ones, they're all going to be with a white lining. And so I have this kind of cream color one, again, the fusible interfacing, this pink one, which I do have some things made out of that, and here all the tabs. I have this material that I've had for a long time and I haven't made anything else with it, but I just like it so much. It's like little turtles. So I'm gonna make something. If it sells, great, but if it doesn't, I'm gonna keep that one. And I have this one with hearts that it's part of the fabrics that I purchased for my Valentine's collection, but I didn't make anything with it. So I still have plenty of that fabric, and I decided to make the eyewear case, the sunglasses case, but we'll see. I mean, if it works out, great. I mean, this is something that you can really use year round. You don't need, it's not like only in Valentine's, people wear hearts all the time. So it might work. We'll see. Now I do have to cut, I didn't, I have it. Okay, perfect. The little tabs for the lining for the blue. So you need the exterior and the lining, the same size, the fusible fleece, and the tabs, okay? For where you put the flexi frame. And so now, where is that other one? I just had it here. It was here. Here's two. Okay, I'm missing one of this. Let me find the fabric, cut the little tab, and then we can start sewing. Now, all the measurements for these are gonna be down in the description of this video. So if you want the measurements, I'm giving them to you, like I mentioned, down in the description of this video. Yeah, that's it. Let me do that and we can get started. So the first thing we're going to do is press the interfacing to the exterior. And for that, I use my presser here, the machine that I use to, press. And the good thing about this is that it creates an even distribution of the heat, right? And I can even do 2 at a time. So it saves me time, and I can make sure that, the the pressure is even, and the distribution, the heat distribution is even as well. Now, sometimes I like to take my fabric that's a little bit wrinkly and press it so that it, this one doesn't need it because it already has the other interfacing. When you have your fabric and you need to, and it's, you know, you haven't done anything with it, you just took it out of the shelf, you want to kind of remove some of the wrinkles. So like this one has some wrinkles, and you want to do that before you add the interfacing, because otherwise the interfacing is going to not go in as nice and smoothly as it could. I mean, I have plenty of times. Now, I haven't done this step. I've done it where plenty of times where I don't press the fabric before I add the interfacing. And it's fine, but if the fabric is really wrinkled, then you definitely want to press it, okay, before you add the interfacing. Plus, when you do that, you are also warming up the fabric a little bit, and that also helps with the fusing, okay? When the fabric fuses to the interfacing, it's already warm, so it creates, it just helps a little bit with the fusing of the interfacing. Okay. So I'm just going to place this like this. Let me show you. Like that. Okay. So I have two in here, and a Teflon sheet or cover. Consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel if you have learned something today. The first thing I'm going to do after pressing everything, right, like we just did, is make all the tabs. And so I have them all here. The exterior, the linings, all of them. I want to separate though the little tabs for the swivel hooks. Those I'm going to do after. So I'm going to put these here. Oh my God. And I have here all the other tabs that we're going to make. So take an exterior and a lining, join them right sides together, and you're going to stitch them along the short edge of the tab only on both sides. Okay, we are not stitching them on the top or on the bottom, only on the sides, right here and right here. And we're gonna do that for all of them. So joining exterior and lining. So I'm gonna do all of those together first, and then we move on to the second step. And I want to say the seam allowance for the entire project is 1/4 inch. once you stitch them on each side, you're going to turn them right side out, just like this. Okay, so you're gonna have the opening on both long edges of your tab, and you're going to then top stitch it in here along the edge, along the short edge, so that it kind of stays in place. But this is how it's going to look. Okay, it's going to look open on the top and open on the bottom. Okay, here they are. So I flipped them all and added the top stitch on both sides for each tab. Then what I do is that I take this tab, for example, exterior lining, and then you fold it along the long edge where the raw edges are, and you're gonna join both raw edges like this, and then we're gonna stitch them right along that edge together. So I did one like this with the pink. So here is the folded edge that we stitched together and top stitch, and here are the raw edges together. So we create like a little tube. Okay, we're just creating a little tube. So that's the opening, one side and the other, and lengthwise. So before I go into the sewing machine and stitch all of these together, I am also going to bring the tabs for the swivel hooks. And so pretty much all I'm going to do is take the one piece of fabric, it's 2 inches by 2.5 or 3, and I'm going to fold it in half, mark the center, then take the raw edges along the long side, fold it towards the center like this, fold it again, and now I have my little piece of tab that I'm going to stitch along both long sides. And I'm going to do that for all of these. And so I'm just going to take all of it with me to the sewing machine and stitch all of it at once. Next step is to add the swivel hooks to these, because as you can see, they're already made. And I have these swivel hooks that I purchased a while back, and I really haven't done much with them, so I decided to use them for this project. So I'm simply going to slide the little tab through the swivel hook D-ring here at the bottom, and just join them together like this and stitch them together right at the bottom, just so that they can stay together. So now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine real quick, stitch them in place together, and I have all the little tabs here for the body, the exterior of all the sunglass cases. And sorry, I got a mess here. Then the next thing will be to start putting all of these together. So let me finish this and I'll come back with you. I have them all ready. And before I move on, one thing I must remember to do is to add my tags to the sunglass cases, the exterior. And so this is how I do it. I take one of the exterior pieces and I place the swivel hook tab, and right below it, right underneath it, I'm going to add the tags with my logo. And I'm going to do that for all of them first. That is the first thing I'm going to do. So I have all my swivel hooks here, and I have all my tags on the table. So let's go ahead and add these to the exterior. And I usually do it like on the, I guess, the right side, but it doesn't really matter because you can see it the same either way. You'll have the swivel hook or the tag, either way. So yeah, let me do that first. Pin them or put, a clip and put them in place together first. And then I'm going to take them to the sewing machine and stitch them. So here's how they look now that I stitched all on the sides, the swivel hook and the tags, okay, on all of them, right? All 6. The next step is to kind of close it, the exterior. So I'm just going to fold them right sides together. I actually put a little bit too much interfacing on these, and I want to trim off that interfacing because I want to make sure I have the right edge, measurement. I don't want it to be crooked, and I use that to guide me to sew it, to stitch it together. So I don't want to, I want it to be straight and even, right? So I'm going to join them right sides together now, like this, and make sure the swivel hook and the tag are tucked in inside, just like this. Okay, simple, right? Pretty easy. We're gonna do that for all of them, and let me get more of my clips here. So I add them. Like this. And I'm going to do that for all 6 of them. And when I'm done with that, I am going to stitch them along the side, joining the 2 exterior pieces together. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I reinforce the area where the swivel hook is. I like to double stitch there because that area is where the heaviness of the pouch or the case is holding it, right? So I don't want it to come loose. Even though I stitched it a couple of times over it, now I'm going to stitch it again. I mean, I'm telling you, if anybody tells me that these things fall apart, I know they're lying, because the way I stitch these, I mean, there is no way. Sometimes I can't even, if I make a wrong stitching and I, have to take the stitching apart, sometimes it takes me forever to be able to, get it all out because I stitch it so much. I double sure, and I use my, the stitch length that I use is 3.5 for this machine, 3.5 millimeters. And it's not too long and it's not too short. So as you can see, I have them done like this, and I'm just going to stitch them along the side from the very bottom all the way to the very edge. Okay, I finished stitching them, all of them, the exteriors only. on both sides, and I turned one right side out because I thought it was kind of crooked, but it wasn't. But anyway, after we stitch them all together on each side, we turn them right side out. And for that, before I do that though, I'm going to nip here the corners. That way, when I turn them right side out, the corners are not super bulky and they look nice and pointy. When I stitch them all the way to the bottom, right? To the edge right there. But when I trim off the corner, I try not to cut the stitching because you don't want to cut the stitching. You want to keep the stitching there in place. And I think I cut the stitching on this one, or I didn't stitch it all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to run the bottom here real quick, the stitching. Yeah. I didn't run it all the way to the bottom. That's what happened. So anyway, now I can turn it and it's not opening. Those are the little details that when you make things by hand, you can control. You can do your quality control because you're doing one by one and you're looking and you're seeing, you're making sure that everything looks good. When you have to do things fast and mass produce, sometimes they don't even backstitch. That's why things fall apart. It's looking a little bit wrinkled, but that is okay. I'm going to press them. But that's what I'm going to do. Just turn them right side out and then continue with the next step, which is to add the tabs here to the exterior of the sunglass case. We're on the next step of adding the tabs now, and as you can see, I flipped all of them right side out. I'm missing one. Oh, not all of them. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna flip the last one. I'm missing one. Where is it? Okay. So I just, trim the little corners off, and then I'm going to push the corners out really good. Okay. And turn it right side out. And now I have all 6 of them, okay? All of the colors. How cute is this with a little turtle? Love it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take the tabs, these tabs that we made at the beginning, right? These. And what I'm doing is I'm placing the tab over the exterior. I'm doing one side at a time. It's easier to sew that way. So I'm gonna do one side on all of them and then stitch them together, of course, and then turn around and do the other side. And here's the thing. You have here your seam where the 2 pieces are joined together. This tab is exactly the size of your width here, okay? So it should fit right there in between the 2 seams. It should fit perfectly. Okay, so if it's a little bit smaller, I guess it's fine. It depends on when you stitched it, the seam allowance, right? If you follow the same seam allowance for the tabs and the body of the case, then it should match. But if it's a little bit smaller, it's fine. But there it is. now we have all of them with the tab and the exterior. So everything in the exterior is done. The swivel hooks, the tags, and the tabs. Next is the lining. So we're going to do similar things with the lining. You're taking your lining, right sides together. You're going to also stitch it on one side straight. On the other side though, we're going to stitch. We're going to leave about 2.5, 3 inches opening, and then we're going to finish stitching it on the bottom. And that is the area where we're going to turn it right side out. For these, since they're both the same color front and back, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to fold them, and again, stitch on one side, stitch, stop, opening, stitch, and stop. So let me go ahead and do that now. And I am going to also trim the pointy edges here the same way as I did with the exteriors, okay? Because you're going to turn this also right side out eventually. And we don't want to have those bulky corners. Okay, so we're almost there. I say we're probably halfway there. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna grab a white, because you know I have a gray one, which is the one that goes with this blue. All the other ones, the white ones, go with this. So pretty much I'm going to insert the exterior inside my lining. So open up your lining, and I am going to kind of fold the exterior a little bit like this so that I can easily insert it inside the lining. And it's gonna get all the way to the very bottom. Okay, so you have your lining and your exterior here touching. And I can actually, it's not necessary, but you can put a little clip so that you know, okay, it made it all the way to the bottom. Here is a little bit of a tricky part as well, because you're going to match your two seams, the seam on your lining and on your exterior. And you're gonna put a clip there. And you're gonna do the same on the other side. Okay. So once you do that, you have, they both match, and you put a clip. You're also going to make sure that your exterior raw edge matches with the lining raw edge. You can put clips here, but I noticed that because this is such a small circumference, it is already a little bit difficult to get it under the foot. And then adding clips just make it even more, a little more challenging, okay? It's not impossible, it's not difficult. It's just that you have to lift your presser foot really high, kind of move the fabric around, and then these things will hit the needle. So it's just a little tricky, but you can do it. Okay. And the beauty of this is that you can obviously get it started with the clip, right? But then once you remove the clip, you need to put it back, and you already have like half of it stitched. You can also do what I did at the beginning when adding the tabs, which is stitch one side and flip it and stitch the other side. As long as you back stitch the beginning and end, you should be okay. So if that's better for you, then do that. Other than that, and you know, it may get a little like wrinkly here, like you may say, like you may feel like, well, the exterior is a little bit bigger than the lining, or it's just going to, you know, look wrinkly. I mean, that is going to happen but you have to kind of work the fabric around until you get it to, be as close and as even as possible. Now, if you notice that after you put it in here and you realize, wow, there's like a big piece of fabric here and I cannot, no matter how much I stretch it, it's just too much. Well, maybe then you cut the lining too short, too small, or the exterior too big, and you may have to recut the lining, obviously, because the exterior, you're not going to want to do that. So if you notice that it doesn't fit, you cut another piece of lining to kind of match your exterior. But here it is. So I'm going to do that with all of them at the same time. That way when I take them to the sewing machine, I'm stitching them all together. Okay. Yeah, so this one I'm just trying to get it in there. Yeah, as much as I can, it's there. And like I said, I'm putting a clip there. It's not necessary, but it's giving me the knowledge that it is even at the bottom. And also just make sure the swivel hook is tucked in, because I just noticed that this swivel hook was on the top and you don't want that. Okay, but you see how when I stretch it like that, it's pretty even. I mean, there's a little bit of wrinkle, but that is normal. Okay, that's gonna happen, but it's pretty even. So I'm just gonna put a clip on each side. Oops, sorry. And by me making sure that the exterior and the lining touch here at the bottom, I'm making sure that my raw edges also match. Okay, I'm gonna do all these now and I'll get back with you once we're getting ready to stitch. Perfect. So we're getting close to being done here. It's done. Now we're going to turn it right side out through that opening. In one of the openings, I didn't do it very big, so I know I'm going to struggle with that one a little bit, but here, let's go ahead and birth these bags or these cases through that opening. Right side out. Okay. Get the pointy things out here. Okay. And then this is how it looks. Okay. You have your exterior and you have your lining here joined. And before we tuck the lining in, we're going to stitch the opening close. Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to turn them all right side out before I take them all to the sewing machine. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. I left the opening super tiny. I realized that after I was like, oh my gosh, I'm almost stitching this whole side. Let me stop. And that happens, happens to all of us. But It's the beauty of this, obviously, it's not such a stiff material that it makes it hard, but I don't know. Maybe this part right here. Okay, good. All right, it's doable, but could be easier. Okay, so at this point, we're going to insert the flexi frames. And these I purchased on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. And these are 4 inches wide. Okay, so 4 inches right there. And the way this works is you're going to insert them on each tab or tube here that we made on these cases. They are connected on one side, okay, and they're open on this side. They come with the little pins to connect them once you insert them into your case. So we'll connect them like this, and we put the pin through that opening, and then we close it. We close this little tab. Let's see if the lighting is any good. I don't know, but let me move the camera here for a better lighting. Okay, and for that I use a small plier. These are from like the jewelry making section of the store. So that's how we do it. Okay, so we're gonna do one right now so you can see. So for example, let me cut this thread. There. We try to insert them at the same time. So this and this at the same time. Okay. So okay. It's a little tight in there, but it's okay. Okay, so it goes through. You push your fabric, and when it gets to the end, you keep pushing your fabric until you get it all the way through, and you don't see the metal. I mean, you see the metal. You want to see the metal. There you go. And I got a little bit of a thread stuck in there, but got it. Okay, so here is how it looks. Okay, I push my fabric so that I have room to work this section here, right? So the fabric is not in the way. But once I put the pin and close it, then the fabric will cover this metal. I want my fabric to cover the entire frame from metal to metal. Okay, so here it is. You just join the hinges like that, and then I'm going to take one of my little pins that came with the frames. They all come with together. Okay, and so I'm going to again join the hinge here. Let me push the fabric away again, because I don't really want my fabric to get in the way. Okay, there it goes. And now I'm inserting that pin. I hope you can see it, but it just goes right there, and that's it. It went in there, and then I took my plier and I pretty much, that little tab, that little lip there, I just close it. And that's it. It's closed. It's very soft. You don't really need pliers if you don't have any. You can probably close it with the table, or with another tool, but if you have small pliers around, then I definitely would recommend using that. But here it is. That's it. Now they're inside, and you can open and close your case that way. and it's super neat, and it keeps it closed, very secure, and very easy to install. You don't really need a lot of hardware or anything like that. So there it is. Now I'm gonna do the rest, and I'll show you all of them together. And here I have all the final products. So as you can see, we have the pink one, the beige one, polka dots with black and white polka dots. Let me turn it this way. The cherries, the bold flowers, orange blossoms, the Queen of Hearts, the turtles. Oh my God, I love them. Okay. The blue with little tiny polka dots, and the blue vines. And they turned out really, really good. As you can see, the tab is as long as the flexi frame, which is what I wanted. I did not want to have any of the metal showing up. So it covers it. You can barely see the hinges here on the side, of course, but other than that, it looks really, really good. And of course you have this, which makes it so much easier if you can hang this to your purse, to a keychain wallet, a wristlet, your keychains, whatever. This is really gonna make a big difference, because the whole reason why we have sunglass cases is to protect the glasses, right? But so that we don't lose them. But if you lose this, then what's the point? So these are ready, available on my website. If you want to get yours, you're more than welcome. I'll put the link down in the description. But I hope you enjoyed this project. It was pretty easy, as you could see. And let me know if you made any for yourself, or if you have any questions, okay? And I will see you in the next video. Ciao.